And I'll tell you guys since we're all friends. Every character I write has a piece of me in them. Hi, I'm Lee Bardugo. You're listening to the GrishaCast.
Welcome to GrishaCast episode 149. In this episode, we will be discussing episode 2 of season 2 of Shadow and Bone, Rusalye. This is your host, Eric.
And I'm Terry from Nashville, Tennessee. This is your podcast for all things GrishaVerse.
A world created by our friend of the Sun Summoner, Lee Bardugo. Moi savieni casters.
Hi.
Hi, we got lots to talk about. So we got listen to cities.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
First we have Pathum Thani, Thailand.
Wow. Go
Yeah.
girl. I would love to go there. And then next we're going to Tashkent, Uzbekistan. And
That's exciting.
It really is. I hope I said that right. And thank you so much
Thank you.
for our listeners there. We are so happy you're joining us. So, oh my gosh, 2 weeks in a row, I get to see you.
Right?
And we get to talk about some cool
We made it without getting sick.
Yes, we have. So, how are you feeling like you're getting back in the groove? Are you feeling better? Because I know it takes a while.
I think the fatigue is kind of still like hanging on. It's like it's just like got its little like pinky finger on. It's just like barely like hanging on, and you just want to like push it down the ledge, and it's just like, no, not yet. I'm not done.
Did you ever did you lose your sense of taste or smell at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh. I can't find anybody else like me. I still can't taste and smell the way that I did before
think
COVID.
There's several people.
It's crazy. It's never gonna. I can taste and I can smell everybody. It's just not all the time, and not everything. Like everything tastes different. Like if I ate a cake, every bite I ate kind of would taste different. Every piece I ate would taste different.
That's so weird.
And there are things that and there's things I can't smell.
I know for a long time you couldn't smell doo-doo.
Well, it's actually farts. Yep. My husband's farts. I still can't.
I mean, how lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I am definitely making sure I'm saying that because, hey, it is so true. He's actually not too happy about it. It's upsetting. He enjoyed that a little too much. But, yeah, it's been years.
I mean, if it had to happen, at least there is a positive to it.
Yeah, it's only his though. it's very weird. That's
wow, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's not like farts in general. It's just
It's just. But
also, to be honest, I don't know if I've been around anybody else that I know that they farted intentionally. Yeah, so this is getting a little into our personal life, but yeah, I am.
Oh, I had no idea. We were walking into this today. So to speak.
It's just talk about poopy. Some
doo-doo and some toots.
So you don't watch Apple TV or anything on there?
No,
Ted
because
Lasso?
I was on y'all's account, but it was taken away from me, so.
Apple TV?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well.
No, it's fine. I can get my own Apple TV if I need it.
Oh, no, you don't need to. Ted Lasso I've heard about it for years.
Yes.
It is incredible.
The morning show I listen to, will not shut up about it.
It's a show about sports. And,
Yeah.
I love it. It's so good. And I promise there's an actual segue into what we were just saying. I think it was last episode, one of the characters, he said, poopeh, like that. And it was really funny. And I just realized I'm talking to people who have no clue what I'm saying, so it's not funny to them, only to people who have seen the show.
You had to be there.
Yeah. Well, if you are a Ted Lasso fan, that was a quote of Jamie saying, it's just poopeh. let it flow. Ta-da! Okay, acting challenge done. Anyways, so
All right.
yeah, so I think the majority of people that are huge Shadow and Bone fans have been very excited since the show came out, and I don't think a lot of people are following us along because I mean, we all got to watch it, but I want to ask you because I just actually finished the very last episode just now, which was pretty late. And where are you?
I've only watched the first 2 episodes.
But that's not your fault.
It's not. So my youngest son started getting into the Grishaverse, and he is actually on chapter 32 of Crooked Kingdom right now, and we all know what's about to happen.
Yes.
I keep asking him every day. I'm like, what chapter are you on now? What chapter are you on now? So he knows something is coming, but like I refuse to tell him if it's good or bad. So he just knows something is going to happen. And he said that they just met oh my gosh, what's her name? Inej's shadow.
Crazy Pants?
Yes. I was trying to remember her name, but he's like, we just had
wow.
So anyway, we watched the first season of Shadow and Bone together. We had a big crazy rewatch right before.
Yeah, like literally
the day before.
Right before this happened. That's awesome.
And so we vowed to kind of watch this together. And then he went to his dad's for like a week. And so like I haven't seen it.
That's so kind and sweet of you. I just
So I told him, sorry about it. I'm going to have to watch it.
Yeah, you're such a good mom because I mean, I put myself in your shoes. If that was Caden, I would no. Sorry, like there's no way. Like this.
But you don't have anyone else in the house that's like a massive fan.
Yeah,
so like it's been really nice to have that, and we could discuss it. And it's also really nice that he is where he is because it's fresh to him, and he's got a 15-year-old brain that can actually remember things.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And he, because he's a Virgo, he's got these little pieces of paper stuffed all in the book, like on his quotes and like these major happenings. So if I ask him something about the show, about like, I don't know, I don't remember this particular whatever, he's like, okay, well, this happened and this happened. And he knows all the things. Wow. So it's nice to be able to like talk through it.
He would be great helping us out all the time because there are so many times where we forget because it all just...
Sportscasters have a fact checker that kind of sits in front of them during their like thing. That's what he should do.
Yeah, we need a Grishaverse checker.
Yes.
I mean, yep. Just well, I think we're gonna hire him.
Right?
He's coming along. He's coming on board. So that's
yeah. If you ever have any questions, just ask Alden.
Oh, so from what you've heard, does he like Matthias? Does he even say his name? Does he even mention him?
I asked him because I was trying to get a gauge on that. I know exactly what I was trying to get a gauge on it too about like how devastated. Chris, if they come in the door, please let me know so I'll stop talking about it. I was trying to gauge how he would feel with that news. And so I went through each crow, like, how do you feel about this person? How do you feel about this person? He and I have the exact same views on Matthias, which I guess isn't completely surprising since we live together, but he's like, eh. So I don't think it's going to stab him in the heart like it
Probably
has
not.
A lot of people. But he got so excited. The second he got in the car from theater rehearsal today, he was like, Jesper and Wyland kissed.
Oh.
And I was like, my little heart.
I know.
He was so excited. Like, he's been talking about this when Jesper kissed Wyland Kuwei as Wyland. Right. Alden was like, it was so disappointing to find out that it was. And I loved that he was so into their relationship.
I agree. I agree. I was mad at what's it? Oh my gosh, Kue. I was mad at him for the way he was acting. Like, I mean, just letting him do it. I'm like, no, you're
getting in the way.
But well, I'm so excited for him.
I know it's been so. Because I mean, it's like I'm watching somebody read through it for the first time, and it's so cute.
That's amazing. I've watched you read it.
Yeah.
And that has been documented, and it's a very cool experience. I love it. It's so funny because he's gonna have you're right. He's gonna have the same reaction to Matthias's stumble as you did.
Yeah.
And I was like waiting for you to lose it. And you're like, eh.
Well, like even our Grisha in the field, like they will make statuses every once in a while, like a reminder. Chapter 40 does not exist. And like they're devastated over it. And I think a lot of people, I mean, that's the norm. The norm is to be devastated over it.
Right.
I just never felt the love for Matthias.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of characters and I mean, we all gravitate towards the ones that we and they're all great. Here's the thing. Every single character is amazing.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I love Matthias. He's so sweet.
That's not why.
You're right. I'm lying. So,
you're such a liar.
Before we get started, we got an email from a fan, and and in this email, there's something revealed that I didn't know, and I was really excited. So the email says, so I am watching your episode 1 for season 2 of Shadow and Bone. I am loving it, and your podcast has got me into the Grishaverse in the past year. I have now read all of the books. I just wanted to let you know, if you have not already found out, that in season 1, they changed the very beginning of episode 1 to explain some stuff in an animation.
What?
Thanks for your time, Emma. Okay, so I was like, what? I'm going to actually play it for you right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I think this came out.
It had to have been after we did our rewatch.
I think it came out when season 2 dropped.
Okay.
So this is actually pretty interesting. And so I'm playing it for Terry now. Okay. So.
Did you already watch this?
Yep.
Oh. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
It's a little explanation. Wow. Yep.
But that...
It actually would help explain some things.
Well, but they... Okay. So...
It makes...
Because we have, in the past, said that, like, if you're watching it for the first time, there's no way in heck you would know
any of this,
what was happening. So, wow, that's crazy.
Yep, there it is. Oh, wait.
So,
Hold on.
There's more. I'm not, like, I'll have to go back and, like, really pay attention to it. But, I mean, some of it they do explain later on when he takes Alina to the well.
Well, right, but that's like in episode 3 or something. Like, it's really far along. This is the very first thing, and I love it. It explains that a summoner is like a myth.
I can't believe they went back and like did this.
I think it's incredible because it's so cool, and it helps. Like, I think it really would help.
Okay. So y'all go back and watch it.
Yeah, I had no clue, and I was so surprised by that. I was like, what?
Was that announced somewhere that I missed?
No, I didn't see anything. Emma, how did you find out? From somebody else? Like, I mean, it's just, I have no clue, but I like it. I think
Thanks, Emma.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was awesome.
I had no clue what you were talking about. I was actually in my car at on my break, and I think I had like 1 minute left, and before I had to go clock back in, and I was like, oh no, I'm getting on Netflix right now, and I watched it, and I love it because also it uses that map, and I think it's
your
cool.
precious, precious map.
Mm-hmm. Well, it really does help because it gives you all the like just stuff that I think it would make it a lot easier for a lot of people. So hey, go Netflix, and I think that was a smart idea. So
Wow.
yeah, you'll have to watch it. It's neat, and I love that Ben Barnes does it too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
So episode 2.
yes, so we can bounce all around, right?
Oh, absolutely.
First thing, I love the title. And before I even watched it, I was like, I love it, Rusalye, because I mean, like, that's the name of the sea whip. But they never say Rusalye in this entire
they don't
episode.
explain. Yeah, no.
I feel like it's a little like nudge to us book readers.
They did that a lot in the first
Did
season.
they? Okay.
So I guess it's only right that they keep doing it. But like the name Sea Whip and Rusalye, like in my brain when we were reading the books, it's like it was this pretty snaky dragony thing that had iridescent scales, and it was almost like it belonged in like a unicorn coloring book type thing.
Yeah.
The one in the show is terrifying. That is not a cute little coloring book dragon.
No, it's not what I imagined either.
It was scary. It was like a freaking Game of Thrones.
It reminded me of, especially when it was about to attack Mal, it reminded me of the dinosaur that, oh my gosh, I know what this kind of the dinosaur in Jurassic Park that had its like things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and spit the like acid. That's what I thought it.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, it was a lot smaller when it died than how I imagined. Like when it was like
in the book, I'm picturing it like along the ship and like as big as the ship, and yeah, and then when they show it in the show, it's like the head, was it that much bigger than like the dude's head? Like
yeah. It was interesting. So we also get a little bit more introduced to the Nietzsche Voya in this episode.
Yes. So that whole scene, like, sorry, I feel like I interrupted you.
Oh, you're fine.
I was like, oh, exciting. I like that they are showing the Darkling as like weak and like
sick.
Yes.
So was he sick?
Because I keep saying in the books, we don't get a lot of that because we're solely following Alina's story. So we didn't get this in the books.
Okay.
We didn't get like this whole back thing. And I especially like it because of Jinya's involvement in it.
Yes.
And I think it's the way that it was written, but it's also the way that the actress is portraying this, like, she has no choice but to be there, and she's terrified. Like, you can see it in all of her movements. And there was this weird interaction with her and the Darkling, and you have to remember back when it was like he's had a lot of time manipulating people.
And her, like, I mean, because he made her be a part of like helping the king and like never stopped it. And he could.
And when excuse me, I haven't seen the show past this episode, but in the books, when we see Jinya later on, like we haven't had this part of it. We haven't seen like Jinya's involvement. So it's kind of neat to see that.
I agree.
And we get the introduction of the Nietzsche Voya almost like attacking her.
Yeah, and also like the explanation of like it's like they come out when he's like hurt or like feeling like it's it's something that I think is kind of cool and neat. They definitely scare Jenya. I
Uh-huh.
would be horrified by it. And okay, so did he have like these huge cuts on his face in the book?
I'm not 100% sure because
I don't think he did.
it was Nikolai being the king of scars. So
Right.
like I don't know, I would have to go back, but I don't think any fan art I've seen or
No.
nothing in my brain, and that was kind of my question when he came out of the fold, was like, we've got these things going on and I don't remember.
Right. See, I thought it was neat when we first saw it because it shows, he fought in
Yeah.
the fold and like he got attacked. But I didn't think that they would never be able to go away. And we see that because he asked for Jenya to come and try to tailor him and help, and she can't do it.
Well, in the books, Jenya can't tailor it because that's what happens to her, is the Nichevoya attack her and she gets scarred up. And in the book, she can't fix it because
Right.
whatever the Nichevoya do, she can't. Remember the bite on Alina's shoulder in the books? She couldn't heal that either.
Okay, yeah. So it's probably it's Merzos
Yeah.
that you probably can't heal. And okay, so it's neat. I like these little ways that I love that the Darkling actually has he's sick. He's coughing up black now.
Yes.
So
I thought that was actually a cool little addition.
yeah.
Like, I haven't been the biggest fan of some of the things that
Right.
they've changed or added, but I thought that was like a fun addition that doesn't hurt anything.
It doesn't. It's definitely something. I don't know. It's weird to see him in this position where he's coughing and he's weak, and it's like
Yeah.
it's just that's so odd to me.
But it's like the price you pay of like dealing with Merzost.
Yep.
Yeah.
And-
I found it very fascinating.
And he says that in this episode too, when he's meeting with his new alchemy, whatever is like Vladimir or something, I don't know. But he explains that because his new, I keep on saying it weird now. We'll call him Vladimir, whatever. I know that's not his name. Vladimir,
Vladim.
yeah, he wants to stop getting the headaches from the Merzos that's been going on. And he says that he can try to make something, but it would only be temporary.
Yep.
And that's when the Darkling says how like Merzost can't really be like duplicate. Like his answer to it at first was like, well, I think the only thing you could do to get like healed is using Merzost on Merzost.
Yeah, the only thing to counter the Merzost is more Merzost.
And he didn't know, but like he was like just kind of like assuming, and that's when the
Because
Darkling
he said to stave it off or to like get rid of it
right.
was Merzost. And the Darkling was like, I don't want to get rid of it. I want to embrace it.
Yeah. It's different. We didn't get a lot of this explanation and in the books. So
No, because we didn't see like this side of it.
no. And okay, so there's so many, like I think we have like 3 stories going on. Sturman. So that's who I was going to bring up. Now since we're in the second episode, we get more of him. Love him.
I have like questions about that whole thing, but like now that I know you finished this season, I'm like, I don't know if I want
I'm not
to
gonna
ask
say
it.
anything.
But like I was listening, I didn't notice it in the first episode really. It didn't like hit me. But this episode, Sturman's accent came to me. Like it made me like question it a little bit. So in my brain, I was wondering if the accent he's using is dedicated to Sturmund, and then he's going to turn back into like the proper rich person's accent when he's Nikolai, because Sturmund is using a very like distinct accent. It's a lower class accent.
Huh. Interesting. So
I'm going to be interested going forward if there's a difference in the way he talks, and that is how we're distinguishing the
him
two.
from okay.
Because there was a way that he was pronouncing things and his act. Like I'm like, that's not what a prince sounds like. Like that's not an accent that like a rich like prince would.
I love that you know that you can hear that. That's amazing. Like other people that I just can't. I can never hear that. I think that's awesome.
But during that whole like story thing, okay, I know I'm going all over the place.
We can go wherever.
But Mal and Alina, I'm not getting the chemistry. I don't know if it's
forced.
I don't know if it's just me, but like anytime they are physical, it seems wrong. Like I'm like, Right. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just a me thing or if it's an actor thing or it's the way it's written thing. But like Alina and the Darkling have all the chemistry in the world. Right. Like if they started making out, you'd be like, yes, that's exactly what's supposed to happen.
Right.
Even Alina and Sturmund, even in this episode, have chemistry.
Yes.
I'm not feeling it between Alina and Mal.
I think, well, one, I know from our like last week when we talked about it, I think like has to do with just like how you felt about Book Mal, but also I do agree that I'm paying attention to Nikolai and the Darkling more with like those connections. It's not. It feels very forced, especially because I feel like they're really trying to like push it at us like a little bit.
Like this episode was saucy.
It was, yeah. It was.
There's they're like hinting at things that like they would not have touched on last season. Like this season feels a little more spicy.
Yeah, it's.
But I wonder too if it's because in the first season, like let's get rid of the book altogether. But in the first season, we don't get them out of the friend zone. I wonder if it's for an entire season. We've just put them in like friend zone.
Well, actually, that's a really good thing to bring up because you're right. We they are like they have been in that place for a really long time, and it would be kind of like the beginning of a relationship. You know, it's not like when you do begin one, it's not like you're all over each other. It's like your little question and things like that. So I think that does have to do with it because I agree. I also feel like because they have always known each other and been friends, and I wonder if maybe there's a little bit of that going on in Mal's head, maybe, because
maybe
I don't know. We don't even know the answer to that, and to be honest, I don't care about Mal's thinking, so I don't know why. Yeah, who cares?
I know there's a big difference when like people think of like Book Mal and Show Mal, but like I really was concerned with my distaste and disgust at Mal and Alina.
Well, hey,
being physical, like even when he's like, "It's not how I thought tonight was gonna go," I was like, "Ugh."
Hey, it's okay. The last season, you and I kept on puking over them, like reaching out and wanting to touch hands. So it's all good.
I feel like the show needs to just like calm down with that.
Yeah,
I get what you're trying to do, but like, stop.
If you push it, like you're just gonna make people not like Mal.
Yeah.
So the Kaz storyline, I think so that's a whole other thing that Nina, amazing.
Oh my gosh.
She is so great.
I love that, like when they're in the restaurant and like the other crows are hanging on his every word and there's a timidity at the table and Nina's not having it. Like she just comes in like a boss.
She's amazing. And also, when she's about to sit down, she's like, "Ooh, do they serve breakfast here?" And then gets up, comes back with all the tea about what's going on and and has a waffle.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love.
But she's like, she just comes in with all this like force. Like Inej and Jesper and Wyland, like there's this like, they're holding back, waiting for Kaz to tell them what to do.
Right.
And they're not speaking up and they're not like questioning him. Like you can tell who's boss at that table. And Nina is just like, so?
She doesn't.
And?
She's new. She doesn't really know them. And
she's also not scared of Kaz, like, at all.
No.
Because she could literally kill him in, like, half a second.
Yeah. And I think it's actually interesting to see that in that conversation, like, when they all get to the restaurant, Jesper and, like, he's been with Kaz for a while, but he's upset. Like, I mean, he blew up their, like, the Crow Club.
Yeah.
And, like, that's their home. Like, I mean, and it was like, and without talking to anybody about it, just did it. Yeah. And I felt like you could not only see, but hear Inej and Jesper actually being worried because they didn't really know how far he might go. They don't understand the story yet, but they actually are like not sure whether to trust him or not. And Jesper shows that for sure at the end because, I mean, his conversation with Wyland kind of, they talk about trust, and Jesper seems like
do you trust Kaz?
Right. And it's just interesting to be in that place.
Yeah.
Just to also see it, too. Like, they're doing such a good job of doing it. And the actor's doing incredible. We're getting more little glimpses of that story.
Yep.
Which is so sad. The little boy that plays Kaz is, I think, perfect.
So cute.
So cute.
So innocent.
Yeah. And just so cute. And, it's... So, okay, one thing that I think... So, while we're on that story, the Dregs. Okay, like, I have always associated the Dregs as, like, the gang that... In the very... Like, I mean, Kaz, like... was a part of, and then but it's the Crows at the same time. Like, I mean, the Dregs and they're...
The Crows are like a piece of the Dregs.
Okay. But
because it's just the 6 of them that are...
The Crows? Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the tattoo is strictly the Dregs tattoo, the Crow. However, that is just that's strictly... Because I remember that is... I saw them together so much. Like, it was something that was, I don't know, united in my head. And then we watched this episode, and I feel what's weird is that Kaz goes and meets up with, I guess, whatever his name is, not Pekka Rollins.
Per
Haskell. Yeah. And it's like, so this is where your club hangs out. Like, I don't know. It's just so weird because that's not how, like, in our head, like, it was.
So the Dregs were owned by Per Haskell, or Per Haskell was the leader.
Right.
Until Kaz staged...
He was the lieutenant.
A thing and overtook it.
Okay.
So I guess we're just not there yet.
Okay. Well, yeah, and see, that's another thing. Like, the timeline, I think, probably is what is making things a little...
The timeline odd. Is a little different.
Yeah. So,
but he calls them like the leftovers.
Yeah, pretty. Which is what the Dregs are.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're kicked out of you can't get in any other gang, then I mean, this is where you are. And he wants to merge up and fight against, get some more muscle and be able to actually go against, not Casbrick. Per Haskell is who we're talking about. I hate it whenever I get all the names confused. Bad guy.
There's a few
Pekka
names.
Rollins.
I get Per Haskell and Pekka Rollins messed up.
Thank you.
All the time.
Yes, all the time.
Yes.
I hate it. I don't know why. It's just like those names seem so similar to me, but at the same time they're not
spelled out. They're not.
No.
But like for some reason in my brain they're like really, really similar.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. I'm glad.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we had that problem when we were talking through that series.
Oh, we definitely did.
100%.
There were plenty of times that I know I most likely was talking about the other when I was saying.
I mean, there's too similar.
Yeah. So, okay. So going back to, we'll just jump all over. But Sturmond, I'm loving him. I love his jacket. Love the
I love how his privateer coat is exactly like all of the fan art.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I guess I hadn't even thought about that, but it is.
It's just like the fan art.
I want that so bad. I love it. I think it's so cute on him. Another thing that I love that he's doing is Mal and Alina obviously are like they won't leave each other. He will not learn Mal's name. Keeps on calling Mal the Sun Summoner's friend. And that is hilarious to me. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he won't. I love how he won't call him by his name. And it bothers Mal so much. He's like, it's not even a long name.
Right, exactly.
But I know what we're setting up for. I mean, I've only seen episode 2, but I've read the books. I know what we're setting up.
Yeah.
For. I know we're gonna be setting up for for Nikolai's taking a shot at Alina. But
another thing that I thought was cool about the Volkvoni, the ship that they're on, is seeing the act. That written in Rovkin on the ship. I thought that was really cool to see. And when they're getting closer to Rusalye, they're trying to find Rusalye. I love this little thing where Mal actually says that he can hear a frequency.
He said that in the first season.
Really?
Yes, and he said it's the same frequency that he's always gotten when he's near Alina. That's how he can track the stag.
So are you talking about in the book? That's what he says because
no, he said it in the show.
Okay, because I know that he we see him. Maybe it's for just to remind us because he compares it to because we actually hear the frequency in this episode too, which I thought was so cool.
They did it in the first.
Did they?
Yeah.
I bet you're right. Yeah, I probably just missed it.
So when we were doing the rewatch, I knew I had heard it before, but during the rewatch, I made a note of it too. That it was in a letter that he was writing was saying that he could hear the high pitched sound coming from the stag, and it was the same high pitched sound that he always heard when he was near Alina.
Interesting. So, and the Sea Whip happens to be on an island. Not really on an island, but
in a cave thing.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of the Jurassic Park island. From the I don't know why Jurassic Park's coming up a lot. I think the Sea Whip kind of looked like a dinosaur, and
yeah, I was wondering why they did that, and I just don't know if they didn't know how to pull off pulling that thing onto the ship, and maybe it was just easier in production for it to be in a separate thing.
So what is Alina's whole thing about? I don't want to kill it, and then ends up killing it. What was the point of that?
Yeah, I know because with the stag, she didn't want to kill it, and she was saying that she
didn't need to, but
right. She's saying she doesn't think that she needs to kill anything to be a part of it, but then it was attacking Mal.
Right, and she killed it.
And she killed it because it was attacking Mal.
I'm just trying to figure out why, what was the even point? Why bring that up? What was the point? It was so short and it made, I don't know. It was just so weird. Because
probably referencing back with the stag and her whole, I don't think I need to kill it to
be able to gain its power.
And I think, again, I haven't seen the rest of the season, but I think might also put a pin in when we switch to Mal being the amplifier, where she's she didn't have to kill him.
Okay, but so we can at the end of this episode, after she's using the power, she's getting all into it. The only way she stops is because Mal comes and hugs her, and I feel I don't know. I feel if he was hugging her,
yeah,
wouldn't she have gotten stronger?
Alden and I had this conversation earlier, and then you and I actually had a conversation very similar. We were talking about intent. About an amplifier has to use intent.
That makes sense. You have to also know it's probably there. I I don't think because I mean we haven't run into a situation where anybody's accidentally.
And I think,
Yeah, it is all
and I
intention.
think because the Darkling, because he's an amplifier, he would amplify literally everybody like he ever touched. So I think he has to like intentionally do it. And then also when Alina had the stag and she was on the skiff and they were trying to like do the fold, and then it came to her and told her that only she could prevent forest fires. It was like intentionally like giving her like that power. So
Okay.
that's what I think. And
Yeah.
I think that because I was like, wait a minute, he's hugging her
Yeah.
as she's like losing her mind.
She was feeling it. She was enjoying it.
But also like she can see the Sea Whip's final moments, and it's showing her Mal, and his face is glowing, and I'm like,
He's a light
really? We're
bulb.
only on freaking episode 2. Why are you doing this to us? Like, why does the show love to give you things much earlier?
I have no clue. And I love how confused she
the book readers
looks.
have to work for it.
I love how confused she looks too. Like it's because if you look at the frame after, she's just like,
What?
"What? Why was Mal lit up like a light bulb? What? What is going on?"
And us book readers are like, no, stop it.
Like,
Wait.
and I think it upsets me because it's like she's not that dumb. I don't want to say it's just she's smarter than that. Come on, come on, Lena. Anyways, I do love. I don't think this line. So there's a lot of lines that we're hearing that were in the book, and I love that. I love that. But Sturmon says, "You're not just sunshine, sunshine."
Yeah.
Was that?
I don't know, but it's a cute line.
It was so cute. Okay, just making sure. So I loved that.
We see Bagra
We do.
in this episode.
Oh yeah, and I love the minute we see her.
She was like tisk tisk.
Mm-hmm. Step back a second, real quickly. Before that, this Fruja, is this Grisha who I have no clue who she is.
No.
She's obvious.
She's just like the keeper of the secrets.
Yeah, apparently, and she's not Squalor. Sorry, she's she is Squalor.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I just want to see who she is. It's like obviously they know each other, the Darkling and her.
Well, he knows all the Grisha.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if that. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah.
But
Bagra's not harmed.
Oh no, she even like makes sure to tell like the Darkling like, "Wow, I've been here for a long time, and you look worse than me." And I'm like,
in the books, the next time we see Bagra, isn't she all messed up because of the retaliation against letting Alina go? So
the Darkling does that to her, like,
yeah,
and like this is like he hasn't done anything to her yet.
But in the books, like the next time we see Bagra from Shadow and Bone, she's got black swirls.
Oh yeah,
and she's all messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got black swirly eyes.
There's another difference.
Yeah, she's overcast. She's so okay, so there's a lot that went on in this episode, but we can't like talk about it forever. But I do want to make sure that we talk about the cute thing of Jesper and Wyland. And so Wyland obviously remembers meeting Jesper before. Jesper is starting to catch on in this episode. It's cute because at first he doesn't. But the moment he does is when he's laying directly on top of Wyland.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was hilarious.
He's like, you remember this now?
That's so funny because it's like he was in the position probably.
Uh-huh.
That's funny to me.
That's another one that Alden and I were talking about because we were, in the first episode, we were like, wait a minute, how are we going to pull off this like Wyland meeting thing? Are they just going to say forget it from the books? But like this is how they nod to the books because Jesper does meet him in the tannery. But it sounds like in the show that they actually went on like a little date.
I think it was more like a one-night stand. So
But that can't be right though, because later on they like kiss for the first
It
time.
can't.
But
in this story,
I guess
hey,
the show can do whatever they want to. But like all that, I thought it was cute that they did go back and reference the tannery and
yes,
everything. Yeah.
yeah. So another thing that I thought was actually really cool was after they discovered the sea whip and like right before they gave Alina the scales, the little prayer that they all said, um like in for the people that they lost, because the sea whip actually was hungry and ate some people, and like I mean,
Yes.
yeah. But I actually I typed this up. It's let the sea carry them to a safe harbor, and may the saints receive them on a brighter shore. And then you do this weird little hand motion thing, and may the saints receive them. So, anyways, I thought that was really cool, and trying to think what else. So yeah, I already.
All of Sturman's crew. We get to meet all the rowdy crew.
Yes,
And they've got where the Okazatsias and the Grisha
all working together.
and Tolia and Tamar. We have to
Right.
talk about Tolia and Tamar because like that's amazing. I love the shark tooth.
Yeah, I love that because actually, like in the book, she had it as it was around her neck.
Yeah, because in the books they don't fuse them to their bodies like they do in the show.
I think it's so cool.
But I liked her little shark tooth. Like I'm not a fan of like the whole fusing into the body thing because it grosses me the heck out.
Right.
And I'm really glad I can't see the stupid antlers this time around because I could not look at Alina at the end of last season. But I like her little shark tooth.
It's cute.
It's cute.
It really is.
It is
They
cute.
did a good job. I love their relationship. Like I love Tolia and Tamar. They're like I love.
It's believable.
Yes, they're so cute, and I'm really enjoying it. I know that some things are changed. Like the story is like different, but I haven't seen something yet that like I'm mad at or anything. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
so far I haven't.
so far.
And because they're like the first season, I feel like they didn't change around too much, like at all. Like I feel like some things got added, and I mean,
well, the whole crow thing like was completely new, so there wasn't much to get upset about there.
Yeah.
Oh, we do see Matthias and Hellgate this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The dipping bread in the water thing is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, where the heck is that water from? Like,
oh yeah.
I had a moment of like, is that really water?
I almost threw up. And actually, like, I almost threw up when I saw that they had lobster on the plate too. Like, I mean, and like Matthias was actually considering eating that. Like,
ugh.
I
Can
mean,
you imagine how bad that smells?
Oh my god. Yuck. But he's lucky. His little cellmate is Puritan, apparently.
And knowledgeable because he's been there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So and he brings up gel.
Yes. Yeah. So Matthias is probably gonna.
Yeah.
Really focus on his devoutness.
Yeah, because right now we have Matthias every once in a while, like thinking about Nina in ways that
was spicy.
It was. I mean, especially the shot where you see her hair, like her face and her hair. I mean, you know where she is.
I was like,
she on top.
Wow, we really took a turn from season 1.
Yep, she was a cowgirl. At least apparently, and what it looked like to me. But I probably envisioned that a little bit more than other people would. I love Matthias. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, one last thing. Maybe this was in the show, but when Alina sits down and plays cards with the Tamar mentions how the Shu don't have orders. Because she asked what they would be, and she's like, if we were in Ravka, we would be Heartrenders. Did we know that? Or is that something that is just the show so far?
I don't know.
I thought it was kind of neat. I thought it was kind of cool how, the Shuhan just see Grisha all as the same. It's just a nice thing instead of trying to separate them. And it's just, I think it's definitely an interesting nod towards everybody on the ship sees one another as just people, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So there's so much in these episodes. My God, I feel
Yes.
like
They're so jam-packed.
yeah, and that's right. And you watched it, so you know. We didn't even discuss the fact, like, I mean, the attack on, like, how Kaz's plan didn't go through, but we all saw that.
The Black Veil.
Yes.
So, like, that's obviously a place that they've used
Yep.
for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually, like, that in the book, that's where they take Alice, and she annoys them with her singing.
Yep.
But so when they were like the Black Veil, Alden and I were like, oh,
Yep.
that's obviously been a thing for a while.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I can't believe, like, I mean, Pekka Rollins really, like, I mean, messed up his whole plan. Well, didn't mess it up because he actually ended up getting what he wanted, the book of like counts or something like that.
Yeah, Cass said he got what he went in for.
Yep, he got what he wanted, but yeah. So anyways, that's a wrap. That was a great episode.
A lot.
It was. So next week we will be covering episode 3. Woohoo! I can't wait. Yeah, we do we have any news, honey?
The only thing that it was on my radar is that our queen, Leigh Bardugo, just signed an 8-figure agreement. Count those zeros, folks.
Wow.
To I guess to write like
to do what she does.
12 books across several different genres, I think. So we know from our interview, she said that she was stepping away from the Grishaverse, and we know of a couple of projects that are coming up. If you are interested in that, please go back and listen to that interview. So I'm very interested to see what these dozens of books, or this dozen books, are going to be.
Yeah, and
it's a lot of money. You get that cash, girl.
Exactly. And she didn't say she would never go back to the Grishaverse.
She just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, and I understand. Like, I mean, she's written like so many. Like, I mean, she deserves to take a break and also like to write some other things. Like, I mean, so I think definitely we're gonna get some, like, the whole like Hellbent. Like, we're gonna get more of that.
There's at least one more of those because it's a trilogy.
Yep. And we also heard, like, I mean, there's another book that I think is like coming out that's she's writing a historical fiction or romance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like. So yeah,
there's a few projects we know about, and who knows, maybe at some point Kaz Brekker will invade her head and make her write a new book. You never know. So I found that fascinating. So like that definitely means we are getting more Leigh in the future.
I agree. It's awesome to know that she's going to give us more to read, and
she's getting rewarded for it.
Get that coin, girl.
That's a payday.
And honestly, I prefer that she take a break from the Grishaverse because, you know, when she does come back to it, like she'll be excited about it.
Well, yeah, we don't need a season 8 of Game of Thrones to ruin our entire
absolutely not
series of books. So that I would much rather get quality later on than get a season 8 Game of Thrones book
right
now.
Yeah. So, well, get that coin, girl. I'm excited for you. So, okay, well, we'll see you all next week. Yeah, love you all. Long live the Grishaverse.
Like, we're at the end of the hour, so my voice is a little husky. It was.
No mourners.
No funerals.
This has been GrishaCast. Connect with us on the web at GrishaCast.com. Send an email to info@GrishaCast.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok at GrishaCast.
And thank you to our amazing staff, Chris, Michelle, Alex, Brenda. Yay!